Hello my fellow critters, I'm Batty Bumpkin, but you can call me Batty, and today's video is a little different than my usual content, but life is about trying new things, and I wanted to share some of my thoughts and theories on the new Netflix hit that took the world by storm, K-pop Demon Hunters. Even if you're not a part of the Korean pop community, you've probably heard of this movie by now, which is a PG animated film brought to you by the same team that animated for Marvel's Spider-Verse, Sony Pictures. I feel that the film has a much deeper message to convey, but is buried underneath all the bops and glitter. But before we get into that, let's do a breakdown of the story, shall we? Cue intro. Huntrix is made of members Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, a K-pop girl group who also happens to be, you guessed it, demon hunters. For generations, a trio of demon hunters were chosen to protect and heal their people with their songs, forming a magical seal called the Han Moon that protects the living from demons. Which leads us to our present trio, who were trained by Celine, a veteran hunter who raised Rumi after her mother, a fellow demon hunter, passed away. Rumi is the group's leader and main vocalist. Mira is the main dancer and raps, while Zoe, the maknae, is the main rapper and lyricist. Their group has a girl crush dynamic that is clearly inspired by real K-pop groups and artists like Hwasa, Blackpink, IVE, and Twice, to name a few. The story begins with the girls flying in on their private jet for their final show of their world tour, but are notified by their manager Bobby that they're late and realizes that the plane staff are demons. After the girls show us how it's done, we meet Guillermo, a demon god who's sick of losing to the demon hunters, but a demon by the name of Jinyu emerges from the crowd to propose the idea of a demon boy band that will destroy the girls for good.
Oh yeah, totally gonna work.
With an incentive that his memories be erased. And the Soldier Boys are formed. The Soldier Boys consist of demons Jinyu, Abby, Romance, Mystery, and Baby, with their goal being to steal the souls of fans and ultimately destroy the Han Moon for good. The girls quite literally clash with the boys and immediately clock their identity as demons during an impromptu street performance. Soon the Soldier Boys' popularity skyrockets, stealing fans left and right. Mira and Zoe channel their frustration into a diss track called Takedown for the upcoming Idol Awards, while Rumi is dealing with something far more personal and serious. She's half demon. She's hidden it all her life as advised by Celine, mainly by dodging bathhouses where her markings would show, but the guilt is catching up to her as the pattern spread. Her voice falters while practicing their comeback single Golden, and she fears that her members would turn against her if they knew the truth, possibly taking her down. Her secret almost comes out in a fight at a man's bathhouse when Jinyu discovers her heritage, but instead of exposing her, he covers for her. In private, the two bond. Jinyu admits he was once a poor boy blessed with a powerful voice by Guillermo, which lifted his family from poverty, but that same gift chained him to the demon realm, leaving him to choose between his family or his bougie new life, and he's been carrying the guilt ever since. He tells Rumi that demons are trapped, not just by power, but by shame and sorrow, voices that keep them enslaved to Guillermo. Meanwhile, Mira starts to suspect Rumi's sympathy for the Soldier Boys, especially when Rumi questions if Takedown is too harsh. Torn between her identities, Rumi proposes a secret deal. If Jinyu helps Huntrix win at the Idol Awards and strengthen the Han Moon, maybe he can finally stay in the human world. But Guillermo isn't letting go so easily. He reminds Jinyu of the original deal and a dark truth he's hiding, that he willingly abandoned his family when he chose fame. By the time the Idol Awards arrive, tensions are at their peak. The Soldier Boys plan to hijack the stage and drain the entire audience. Rumi is tricked into performing Takedown, and the demons disguised as Mira and Zoe use the moment to reveal her markings to the world. Shocked, the real Mira and Zoe feel betrayed, and Rumi believes Jinyu has just been manipulating her all along. Guillermo then casts a trance over the crowd during the performance of their song Your Idol, pulling them toward the Saja boys in the final act to shatter the honeymoon completely. Desperate, Rumi visits Celine and begs her to end her life. But when Celine refuses and suggests that they come up with a lie in order to hide again, Rumi lashes out at her for never truly accepting her for who she is, therefore causing her to internalize that unacceptance. Rumi returns and takes the stage with a new song, What It Sounds Like, a hopeful song about facing fear and shame instead of hiding it. Her performance breaks Guima's trance, and she reunites with Mira and Zoe. Together, Huntress defeat the Saja boys, and Genu redeems himself by sacrificing his restored soul to protect Rumi. With this, Huntress rise to full power and finally defeat Guima, restoring the honeymoon once and for all. In the aftermath, Rumi proudly shows off her marks and relaxes with Mira and Zoe, relieved to be accepted as she is, their bond stronger than ever. The theories I'm about to share could be completely obvious to most K-pop fans, but for many new to the K-pop world, it might not be. And it is my belief that K-pop Demon Hunters is a cry for help. A message to the world, or mostly K-netizens, to realize that idols are normal human beings just like you. You're probably wondering why I'm saying something so obvious, and that should be common sense. But if you've been a part of the community for a while, you know that this is something that still unfortunately needs to be said. The song that I think encapsulates this message the most is Free. The average idol were scouted as literal children and fed a lie of what it meant to be an idol, naively signing a slave contract to a money-grubbing company that controls what they eat, how they dress, talk, and even their personal relationships. There is a noticeable lack of mercy in K-netizen culture. Idols have faced intense backlash from things as little as being friendly with an idol of the opposite sex, dating, or simply being overweight. But sadly, most of the time the backlash becomes so intense that it leads to tragedy. The bullying from K-netizens of these idols for simply living their lives have cost us many bright and talented people. In recent years, some idols have courageously spoken out about their mistreatment. In 2024, Songkwon, the main vocalist of 17, bravely spoke out about idol mistreatment in a now deleted Instagram post, in it stating that we are not your commodities. I hope you don't think you can just use and enjoy us however you like. Well said. For fans stalking members to some fans attempting to even inflict harm on idols because they feel personally wronged by them is insane. And I can't fully imagine the anguish that it causes the idols and their loved ones. I want to talk about the scene where Huntress attempts a surprise attack on the Saja boys during the filming of a variety show. If you overlook the comedy, I see the scene as a commentary on the humiliation rituals idols are forced to endure for the sake of fan service. You might think that the scene itself was an exaggeration, but I could think of a multitude of instances in which idols were forced to behave in a way that they weren't comfortable with. For example, Woozy of 17, just like Baby of the Saja Boys, was forcibly infantilized for the group's official debut era, despite him most likely not feeling comfortable with the concept at all. And in a female example, former member Gyeong of the girl group Stellar made public the fact that her and her members were forced to perform hypersexual concepts despite voicing their concerns to the company.
자극적인 것에만 반응을 하니까 그게 힘들더라고요. 떨려요 때 갑자기 그것도 당일날 이 의상으로 입어보라고, 이거 입고 절대 우리가 춤 못 춘다. 그럼 한번 일단 해봐라. 너네는 왜 안 해보고 말을 하냐. 이래서 그걸 한 5장인가만 딱 찍고 봐봐요. 너무 심하지 않냐고. 그래 뭐 갈아입어라 했는데 그 사진으로 나간 거예요. 나온 거 보고 전화하고 이 갑을 관계로 계약을 했기 때문에 아 이거는 저희 하고 싶지 않아요 하면은 너 회사랑 계약 생각해야 될 텐데 이렇게 이제 나오니까 어린 나이에 좀 무서웠던 것 같아요. 여기서 내가 이거를 반대하고 안 하면은 나는 위약금을 이만큼 물어내야 되고 하기가 힘들겠구나, 약간 이런 겁도 났었던 것 같아요.
All of the members of the Saja Boys seem to reflect issues that are prevalent within the K-pop industry. For instance, Gina represents selling your soul to the industry and abandoning your old self and loved ones. Abby represents the over-sexualization of K-pop idols. Mystery represents pressure of hiding your true identity and lack of privacy. Romance represents parasocial and or one-sided romantic relationships between idols and fans. Baby represents the infantilization of K-pop idols and or Asian men. And I like to add that Guima is possibly a representation of predatory music label CEOs. The Saja Boys' Your Idol is my favorite song from the soundtrack and arguably the darkest, which inspired me to make this video in the first place. My theory is that the song represents what fans want from the idols and how they view them. Lyrics like, "I'm the only one who will love your sins," or "I can be your sanctuary" hints at the very real issue with stans and say songs who literally worship idols. I'm not shaming anyone who happens to have merch of their favorite idol and just happens to love the music and or group. I'm speaking specifically about the fans who think they might have a chance with an idol or could form a more personal relationship with them in general, and ends up creating a made-up perception of who that person actually is in their head, which oftentimes leads to disappointment.
Hands over the tree, right?
Hands over the tree.
Okay, you are under arrest for being too hot. You have the right to remain sexy.
Oh my god.
But everything you say can and will make me blush. So, put your hands in the air and come to kiss me. Thank you for your cooperation.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi.
Anyway, those are just my theories on the film, and I would love to hear any theories you guys have about the film and what other messages I might have missed. I apologize for butchering any names or mispronouncing anything, and if something I've stated in this video is inaccurate, please correct me respectively in the comments. Thank you, and until next time, stay batty!